Good morning. Well, good afternoon. It's your baby boomer, Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. Welcome to Creating the Late. I'm having a hard time getting out of bed today, y'all. I got so much to do. And today is just a really hard day. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And everybody who is assuming the father role. "5 years ago, Father's Day was the 16th as well. "5 years ago, I was holding my mom's hand when she peacefully slipped away. I miss her so much. I'm grateful for all of her lessons. I'm grateful. I didn't mean when I say all of her lessons, the good ones, the hard ones, those that I didn't even realize were lessons as they were being taught. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for the time that I had with her. I'm glad that I got to return to her what she did for me for so many years. And that was take care of her. Glad I was able to. Before I forget it, I thank each and every one of you who have subscribed. Thank you so much. I see that I even have another one. I want to thank you for all the likes. I ask you to please continue because it helps. And please comment. Please comment. When I woke up, I immediately came to YouTube and pulled up the song "I'll Always Love My Mama" by the Intruders. The song came out when I was the song came out when I was a preteen. And when I first heard it, I fell in love with it. And back then I had the boombox with the cassette tapes. It was on every single cassette tape that I had. And I used to play that for my mama all the time. That's something I never told anybody. Something that only she and I knew. I remember one year around Christmas, it snowed. We don't get a lot of snow here. We get snow, but we don't get a lot of it. And I love snow. But this particular Christmas, well, because winter break it was for school, we got out and I went to school in Suffolk. We lived in Portsmouth High School. We traveled 22 minutes away from the school to come to Portsmouth. Got all our things, which were already packed. But the reason we had to come back home was because we were carrying the dogs with us. And of course, we couldn't take them to school, and we didn't want to leave them in the car because it was too cold. Back then, laws were different, and you could leave your pets in the car. But we came back and got the pets. We had Rudolph and Bruno. Rudolph was a vice. He was red all over with this white streak that went from the tip of his nose down to the nape of his neck. His chest, of course, was white. The rest of him was red, and it's like it started at like a medium red, and as it went down his body all the way to the tip of his tail, it got a little redder. And there was Bruno, who was a shepherd mix. Bruno had a lot of names. Bruno's, the name I gave him was Merkia. And I gave him that name because we had a rabbit named, when we got him, we had a rabbit named Murphy. We had another rabbit named Kiki. And we had a dog named Trigger. So I gave him a syllable from each animal's name, and his name was Merkier. And nobody called him that but me. But Merkier, like I said, was a shepherd mix, average size shepherd. And Rudolph was this little, probably 12 to 15 pound vice. We picked up everything. We headed out to Carolina. I knew we had like a 3+ hour drive because of the snow and not knowing what we were facing. The further down to Carolina we went. And we didn't have any heat in the car. So we had blankets. We're traveling along. I put Merkia inside my sleeping bag. No, I put Rudolph, the face, little dog, inside my sleeping bag at my feet. So my feet kept him warm and he kept me warm. We thought it was so funny that the little dog seemed like the most heat, but it was a joint effort. But we made it to Carolina safely, and when we got there, a family friend looked at the car and fixed the heat for us. I forgot what the issue was, even though I was in high school when that happened. But yeah, that was another good time we had. I remember another time, my Aunt Willie and myself, Mom had a red Toyota Corolla Mark IV station wagon. And we used to take trips, and we packed the cooler with all kinds of snacks and all kinds of drinks. And I would always sit in the back part with the cooler and act like it was a store. Whenever they would place orders. I prepare their order, tell them how much it was, write it down, add a ledger and everything. And when we got to our destination, or when we got back home, it was part of the way I got my allowance money. I ran my store. But on one of those trips, we didn't go out of town per se. Like I said, we lived in Portsmouth at the time, Virginia. And we went to, like, I think it was a part of Suffolk. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Gates County, North Carolina. I think it was on the other side of Suffolk, if I'm not mistaken, on the other side of Holland. But we turned down this dirt road, and Mama always had an adventure for us, so we never knew where we were going. And she pulls up to this little dock, looked like something out of a Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn book. But I don't know whether to call it a river or a brook, was, I guess you could call it a river. It was kind of wide. At the point that we were, it was kind of narrow. And there was no one else down here, just like a little shack, like a guard shack. Mind you, everything is in wood. Everything is in wood. So it's kind of like a log cabin style. I'm sorry. And I look out on the water, and it looks like I see a pier. A little wooden pier. The guy comes out, big burly guy, and he's like, "Y'all want to ride over to the other side?" And my mom was like, "Yep, we sure do." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Ride over to the other side? On what?" Yes, y'all.